Life as We Know It with Tom Walton.
Happy Halloween to you on this last day of October, or All Hallows Eve as it is also known. Perhaps at this very moment your children or grandchildren are getting into their costumes and preparing to hit every front porch in the neighborhood. Maybe in your community trick-or-treating was last night. Either way, there will be much candy to share and probably some erratic behavior induced by a sugar high. As for the adults, entertainment could come in a few hours in the form of erratic behavior of another sort, scary movies on television. Why, on one night a year, do we take such delight in being scared? Because we know that at the end of the day, or at least at the end of the movie, we've avoided the slasher's knife, the strangler's grip, and the vampire's bite. Turns out it was just a movie. But oh, can Hollywood frighten us? I've compiled a list of my favorite scary movies, and maybe some of these are on your list too. What was it about the year 1931? Bela Lugosi as Count Dracula and Boris Karloff as Frankenstein debuted that year. 10 years later in The Wolfman, Lon Chaney Jr. transformed on screen from man to wolf, a terrifying special effects scene that was way ahead of its time. Well-crafted horror movies are immensely popular, so much so that the best of them inevitably produce sequels. Foremost among them is the Halloween slasher series featuring Michael Myers. The franchise and the villain seemed indestructible as one film led to another. There were 12 of them in all. We can't forget about Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th series of flicks. Murderous Jason in his battered hockey mask became a seminal figure among horror villains. Certainly we have to say the same of Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare on Elm Street series. And if you do prefer your bad guys in a mask, you probably enjoy yet another horror franchise called Scream. The Scream series consists of 5 films, all featuring a slasher in a long black robe and that ghost face with the elongated mouth. Don't bother trying to keep up with the body count, they pile up quickly. Can't forget the zombies. Night of the Living Dead from 1968 remains a classic in the horror genre. What is it about a zombie, anyway? You can rip his arm clean off, and he just keeps coming. Finally, I must mention 3 films that did not produce long-running franchises, thank goodness, but are standalone classics. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho in 1960 set the bar pretty high for all the slasher movies that followed. Poltergeist in 1982 made me grateful my house wasn't built on a burial ground. And Stephen King's mastery of scary psychological thrillers was on full display in The Shining in 1980. It was Stephen King, in fact, who once said, quote, "We make up horrors to help us cope with the real ones." True enough. But I prefer to leave you with 2 happier Halloween-related quotes. "I would rather sit on a pumpkin and have it all to myself," said Henry David Thoreau, "than be crowded on a velvet cushion." And here's one, author unknown. "During the day, I don't believe in ghosts. At night, I'm a little more open-minded."
Life as We Know It is written and hosted by Tom Walton and is a production of WGTE Public Media. Life as We Know It with Tom Walton can be heard on WGTE FM 91 every Monday afternoon during All Things Considered at 5:44 p.m. Or hear past episodes at wgte.org/life.